As you may have seen, March of the Machine The Aftermath came out 2 days early, which means that we get to brew with the cards in Arena right now. The first deck that I built yesterday was actually an Ob Nixilis deck, because Ob Nixilis Captive Kingpin is a very, very strong card. This is a standard deck, and it makes use of a standard combo. Now, Ob Nixilis Captive Kingpin is probably going to seem like the only unfamiliar card here because it's the only new card. This card is a 4/3 trampling flyer. Alright, that's pretty nice. Cost 4 mana, and whenever an opponent loses exactly 1 life. Now, that could be from losing a life to an ability, they could be paying a life, or we could be dealing a damage to them. Ob Nixilis gets a +1/+1 counter and exiles the top card of your library. You can play that card until end of turn. Now, where's the combo? It's right behind him. It's with All Will Be One. This is a very cool combo because you deal 1 damage to your opponent, or they lose 1 life. So you get a counter. You exile the card. You got a counter, which means All Will Be One will let you deal damage to your opponent. 1 damage, exactly 1, which is all it takes to get another counter, to get another damage, to get another counter, to get another damage. Now, even if you run out of cards in your deck, this will keep on going because you don't need cards in your deck to exile them. You're not drawing. You just get to deal infinite damage to your opponent's face. You also get an infinitely growing Ob Nixilis, so maybe if you want to stop the combo, you could redirect the damage to somewhere else and just swing in with your giant Ob Nixilis, because he is getting +1/+1 each time this triggers. So how am I dealing 1 damage at a time? How am I setting this up? Me and a lot of other people theory crafted the same exact idea, which is Oni-Cult Anvil. This makes 1/1s, those deal 1 damage, and it also has a sacrifice ability that deals 1 damage. That's great, but I wanted more. We also needed artifacts to sacrifice to the Oni-Cult Anvil, so we have Voldaren Epicure, makes a blood and is a 1/1 and deals 1 damage to our opponent's face. Kumano of faces Kakkazan, deals 1 damage to the opponent's face. It's also a saga, so it gets counters. It also puts counters on things with that second chapter. We have Graveyard Trespasser, who can exile creatures from the graveyard to deal 1 damage, or I guess I should say, make your opponent lose 1 life. They both trigger this. We've got Devil Tokens off Ob Nixilis the Adversary, also making your opponent lose 1 life. And to help make this combo and this deck generally work, well, alright, we're a Rakdos deck. Rakdos is strong right now, so I'm running, I'll say the mid-range Keystone, Bloodtithe Harvester, the nice, happy, friendly Sheoldred the Apocalypse, a bit of removal in the form of Cut Down, Go for the Throat, and I actually really like Soul Transfer in this deck because I have a good mix of artifacts and enchantments, and also Fable of the Mirror Breaker because, well, I don't need to explain it. It's Fable of the Mirror Breaker. It's an insanely good card. It's very versatile, and it helps you find cards for your combo, get you mana, and do everything else. So on the sideboard here, you're going to see a couple extra cards. Another Magic Arena streamer, Ash Lizzle, was brewing this deck at the same time as me, and I wanted to include the cards that she put in her deck on the sideboard to show off what they are. Abrade. Abrade is very strong at stopping your opponent if they have Oni-Cult Anvils. It also can kill a lot of the threats in Arena right now, and in Standard, especially in Best of 1, having more early game removal can be very big. We also have Invasion of Azgol. This makes your opponent lose 1 life and makes them sacrifice a creature or planeswalker. This triggers Ob Nixilis, it's a decent piece of removal, and if you flip it over, then you get this cool Ashen Reaper. Reckoner Bankbuster, this is just good stuff. It's also an artifact you can sacrifice to Oni-Cult Anvil. Chandra, Dressed to Kill. For plus, pings for damage. Works well with Ob Nixilis. Also, the other plus can help you find the pieces for your combo, or you could use that 1 red mana to ramp. And we have Big Score! Makes artifacts and ramps and finds combo pieces. I really like that there's so many ways you can build this deck, and I feel like that's a good way to point out how strong it can be. Now, if this deck and Ob Nixilis ends up seeing a huge share of meta play, I want to make sure you all know something. Your Pain lands will trigger your opponent's Ob Nixilis. So be very, very careful. I put 1 Pain land in here. I don't think it's super necessary, but you have to watch out when you are paying 1 life if it's for something like Gix. Gix also makes you pay 1 life if you're drawing a card. There's a whole lot of things that you could be doing to yourself that would make your opponent's Ob Nixilis grow. Now, I'm going to take this deck into the queue. We're just going to play it in standard ranked, and you're going to say, oh, dang. We don't even need to do the combo half the time. No, we do not, because this deck is fun, it's fairly aggressive, and it's Rakdos, which means that it's already doing the good stuff in this standard. So let's go into the queue. Dysnomia. Does that mean that you have difficulty being a gnome? Or you have trouble with names? That sounds right. I've got mana on either turn 1 or turn 2, but I want to play aggressive, so we're going to go with the Voldaren Epicure, turn 1. This is going to be coming in tap. That's why I kind of had to choose. Do I care more about the 1-drops or the 2-drops? And since I've got all these cut downs in hands, I'm totally fine with this. A second Voldaren Epicure, we swing in, we're dealing 1 damage at a time, but it'll add up quickly against... Oh, okay, all I can see is the planes. 2 planes! Mono white aggro. An Intrepid Adversary. This can gain them lots of life. It is a 3-1. You know what else it can do? Die to a cut down. I don't know if I want to kill it with a cut down. I feel like I would rather use up a blood here, make another 1-1, and I'm gonna swing in with one of these Voldaren Epicures. Leave the other 2 back, just in case we have some blocking to do. Hi, you want to trade? Going almost back up to 20 life. They're at 19 now. I expect mono white aggro coming from our opponent. Another Intrepid Adversary. They don't have the mana to kick it, and here comes Skrelv as well. Oh, what a sweet baby you are. I've got these cut downs here. I feel like I could use them. We go chop, chop, and chop again. Now, I could save this blood to try and find mana, because I do have more expensive cards, but I have another thing that makes me blood. And also, you know, I like to deal damage to face. I like to try and keep ahead here. Oh, and this Intrepid Adversary can actually be kicked. They pay the mana, and it's a 4-2. Well then. Okay. I'm going to swing in with these 2 constructs. Whichever one gets blocked, we're going to sacrifice so they don't gain life. We deal a little bit more damage. And we get another 1-1 anyway. It's great. It's fine. It's normal. I feel like they'll keep this back as a blocker unless they have something else coming into play. Lay down arms. They're exiling the Harvester. And a Phyrexian Vindicator! Whoa! Okay. This is a damage reflector. Definitely not what I expected. I'm going to go for a double block here. Phyrexian Vindicator is going to be a problem. I'm going to need a way to kill this. And we do have ways to kill it. We just have to find them. They're in here somewhere. I'm going to use this blood. And I'm going to drop the Sheoldred, because we can still totally combo out at this person. We just need the right parts. All right. I've got my Oni-Cult Anvils chilling, hanging. I've got myself a 3rd land. We've got Fable the Mirror Breaker, potentially Ob Nixilis into All Will Be One. Could we potentially combo off against this big white creature? Don't you dare. They're exiling my little guy. For that, you will die. 1 damage. Fable the Mirror Breaker, the only thing I can really do here, so in it goes. It is a goblin. I'm taking 5 at a time. You cannot kill this with damage, by the way. It does not work. It's not just combat damage, it's any damage. Similar to the Black Vindicator. It's a very, very good upside. That one you can kill with damage, but you'll be sacrificing quite a few things if you do. Discard cards. I'm going to drop one of these All Will Be Ones. Try to find a land. That's a Go for the Throat. Go for the Throat would be great. It gets rid of this. But also, Ob Nixilis. I can take another 5 damage. And I'm fine with taking another 5 damage. I'm just going to turn my little construct here. Exile a card. Looky, looky, loo. It's Mountain. Great, we can't do anything with it. Doesn't matter. Dealt damage. Makes me feel good. Yeah, the Phyrexian Obliterator in black. And then there's also an arena-only one that's in red. It is an alchemy card. But it's not as cool. So we have the potential combo right here. So we're going to see if we can make it go. If they have instant speed removal, it won't work. But part of the cards All Will Be One. We use the Oni-Cult Anvil to deal 1 damage. Damage goes. we get a counter, which means we deal a damage, which means we get a counter, which means we deal a damage, which means we get a counter, deal a damage, 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 and so on and so forth. They're saying good game. I'll have to be very careful about clicking good game here, because if I click on my face, I'll be in trouble. I guess, actually, no, you can only target your opponent with all will be one things. Got 6. We could also, like, take a pause attack in, but they have Wandering Emperor mana up, so that's not worth the risk. 5, 4, 3. Look at this big boy. A 2. A 1. And that's lethal, baby. Love to see the combo work. I've got a turn 1, turn 2, and some potential turn 3 and 4 plays here. This seems great. I'm going to keep it. And we start with a Voldaren Epicure. Gonna get myself 1 damage to the face and a bit of blood. Dark Slick Shores. We know 2 of the colors they're playing. I'm not sure how scared I should be of them. Now, we could throw down that Oni-Cult Anvil, but I feel like I'm just going to build up damage on the board with this Bloodtithe Harvester instead. Okay, Esper Legends, maybe? There's a Denix, so I'm going to say Esper Legends is yes. That seems like that's what they're playing here. I could just use Bloodtithe Harvester to get this off the battlefield. I'm not too afraid of their life gain. But I do want to just, like, deal damage, gotta go fast. And I'll also sacrifice one of these blood. I did not get a land here. Make a little guy and swing in. Now, next turn, if I can get a land, Graveyard Trespasser takes that out of the graveyard and makes me into a very, very happy werewolf. Skrelv can protect their creatures. Thalia can tax my non-creature spells like this. And here comes the Graveyard Trespasser. We're going to say, Dennick, you menace! Be gone from this land! And I'm going to use the Oni-Cult Anvil. I can hold this blood if I want to use it later. And instead of going wide on the board, since I don't really think that'll help me, I'm just going to sacrifice the construct I have on the board to deal 1 damage and get a fresh one. Skrelv can also make it, so creatures of a color can't block. Ooh, Dorothy! When she attacks in, she comes with a 4/4 spirit. Well, she is the 4/4 spirit, and then she turns into this aura that does the same thing, giving you this kind of a Geist of Saint Traft. Pretty neat. I could throw down Sheoldred, but I want to go for Ob Nixilis. I got to 4 mana here, and I want to party. You have removal. I know you have a Skrelv that can be activated. You want to pay 1 life? I would love it if you paid 1 life. Paying 1 life is the kind of thing I want to see. I got this Haunted Spirit here, Thalia. I'm going to sacrifice this blood. Blood for the Blood God. To trigger Ob Nixilis. Whatever we get off of this, I won't be able to play with it, and that's totally fine. I'm making this bigger, and that's kind of what matters more to me. I'm not going to attack in with a Graveyard Trespasser, though it would make Ob Nixilis even bigger. They have 2 pain lands. Alright, Urtai Resurrected. There goes Ob Nixilis. He's gone. I draw a card. Hey, look, it's the other part of the combo! All will be 1, being taxed by Thalia. I feel like we can start building toward that, but we can also just play Sheoldred. Did you know Sheoldred's a good card? It shouldn't be a surprise. She's kind of been all over the place. She's a good card. Now, they might have instant speed removal before they draw, but no, I think we're going to be dealing some damage off our little Shelly here. There's only 2 Ob Nixilis' deck, so, like, getting to the combo is going to be hard. I think we just go for face, exactly like what we're doing. Get down this Graveyard Trespasser. I'm going to exile the Bloodtithe Harvester from my graveyard, leaving Ob Nixilis since I do have a way to reanimate him. I'm going to sacrifice this construct. Bleed them for 1 more damage. And I'm going to sit here. Now, they can't use Rona's tapping to draw and discard ability because of the Sheoldred on the battlefield. Looks like they're swinging in. Everybody's coming in here, attacking my face. Could be a board wipe coming up. I'll get in some blocks, I guess. And that's game. I think they were just doing the old alpha strike. We're at 29 life. We're feeling good. The game is ours. Amelnik. Alright, we've got a 1-drop. They're going first, though, so hopefully we'll be able to pull together some lands for All Will Be One and Ob Nixilis. We've got the combo in our hand, and I want to see it go off. Alright, they've got 1 damage to face. First blood, we're already winning. They've got a Zeator's Proving Ground out, followed by yet another. Could this be some big Jund? Duress is able to discard either Soul Transfer or All Will Be One. So they're dropping All Will Be One. That means they're very aware of the combo already. This is like day 1 of the release, so who knows? Some people might just be like, All Will Be One. Well, I can't be having that. A Llanowar Waste. Bit more damage building up in here. We've got our Bloodtithe Harvester out. 2 blood for the Blood God. And we swing in. 4 damage to your face. There is a green creature with flash that's part of the color hate cycle. They could throw that out here if they want to block the Epicure. No, it looks like it's just more removal. Go for the throat on the Bloodtithe Harvester. Meaning I'm going for the Blackcleave Cliffs. I'm going to actually exile my own creature from the graveyard, that Bloodtithe Harvester. I know I could wait so I could get the trigger off of Ob Nixilis, but I want to deal damage. I'm playing aggressively here because I don't really know what to expect from my opponent, because so far all they've done is discard, kill, and kill. I guess now look, I have more things in the graveyard. Bet they'll kill this guy too if I play him. Sheoldred's Edict! Ah, non-targeting removal. There we go, we've been sacrificed. I'm going to use this blood and drop the Epicure. Found another land. This is fine. And we're going to pass the turn. It's now nighttime. A woo. This big Golgari deck. I don't think they're running Yargle and Multani, but it would be a very powerful move if they were. Glissa? Could this be a Phyrexian's deck? This is the Glissa Sunslayer. At the start of combat, they played her post-combat. Oh no, this is Sunslayer. Sorry, this is the First Strike Death Touch one. Interesting. Not what I expected. I'm going to throw down Sheoldred since she can draw cards. I don't have any enchantments for her to destroy. If she draws cards and loses life, good for her. I'm just playing the Sheoldred first, since the only thing that would be really triggering Ob Nixilis here are their Pain lands or Glissa drawing a card. Cruelty of Gix. Are you going to take a look at my hand and make me remove things? Bye, Ob Nixilis. You should definitely not reverse your own sagas. Glissa, you can technically rewind counters on your sagas. It's a kind of cheeky thing to do. Soul Transfer. Do I want to just exile that? Do I want to use my Soul Transfer to bring back Ob Nixilis? I'm just going to get rid of the Glissa for now. And swing in for 4. Boop. I've got this blood token. I feel like I want to be going for a slightly different strategy here. Alright, we got another Bloodtithe Harvester. They take 3 from the Cruelty. They also get to tutor for whatever card they like in their deck. That could be another blocker, like Glissa. It could be more kill spells, though I don't know how many gophers they've got in their deck. The straight-up gopher party over there. Maybe they'll Sheoldred's Edict my Sheoldred, or they'll invoke Despair. But look at the pain! The pain lands! Oof, they're down to 3 life off of that invoke Despair. Which, not gonna lie, kind of great for me. Now, I'm going to guess that they want to steal that Sheoldred. I can remove that from my graveyard in order to prevent it. I can't remove all of the threats from my graveyard, though. But I think Sheoldred is the #1 thing that I should grab here so they can't take it. Now, they can still remove any of these other ones. Do you want Graveyard Trespasser to gain some life? Do you want Ob Nixilis to grow, cause me problems? Maybe you just want a Voldaren Epicure, get that blood. They went for Ob Nixilis, Captive Kingpin. Playing a land. They have enough mana. If they have something like Titan of Industry in their deck, they could play that and gain a whole lot of life. They're eyeing this card, saying, what do you do? Yeah, what do you do? A Bushwhack. They get a basic land. Okay. Yep. Armored Scrap Gorger can exile from graveyards. Neat. We can go for Sheoldred or double Bloodtithe Harvester. I'm just gonna go for Sheoldred. Will she survive? Kinda doubt it. They have something they can do here. They can exile from my graveyard. Or they could just lose 2 life off the power of the Shelly Belly. There's only 2 Sheoldreds in this deck, but I feel like if you're playing a Rakdos deck, she's just such a good card to include. Any primarily black deck is going to be really rewarded by having it. So they're going to be drawing cards here, but because of the order of this card, the Sheoldred is dead before they draw the cards. Another Scrap Gorger. They're down to 1, though, and yeah, that's still a pain land. Only my deck had a way to deal exactly 1 damage. It's almost as if my deck was built around dealing exactly 1 damage. So we have to find one of our deal exactly 1 damage cards. That ain't it, so we're going to throw down the Bloodtithe Harvester. If I wanted to play quickly, I could actually throw down this blood and try to find one of the 1 or 2 cost things in red. Or we could play Fable the Mirror Breaker, which is going to get me a creature, and next turn help me filter my deck. They have 2 mana right here. You got another go for the throat? Maybe a cut down? Yeah, you should definitely pay some life there. Nope, they played the colored life off this. Sheoldred's Edict is going to make me sacrifice my Bloodtithe Harvester. And here's a little goblini, my little goblin shaman. Hello, little buddy. We gotta deal 1. We gotta deal 1. Ob swings in for 4. And a Phyrexian Obliterator. Noted! I will not be dealing combat damage to you. Llanowar Loam Speaker. We're gonna discard both of these. This could be... this is a Phyrexian Obliterator fight deck. And that would do it. I'm gonna use this blood, drop the Sulfurous Springs, and try to find 1 damage. There we go, there's 1 damage. Oni-Cult Anvil enters into the battlefield. We're going to use it to sacrifice itself and deal 1. Bit of an awkward back and forth there, but we got there. Mertsipoo! What a cute sounding name. I've got a lot of very early cards here, which means that we can actually play this aggressively. That's the wrong saga. There we go. Kumano faces Kakkazan. Turn 1, 1 damage to your face, and they know I'm black and red, so they won't be out here thinking, ooh, a mono red deck. They know what's up. At least they know some of what's up. A Battlefield Forge, a pain land, and they're taking the 1 to deal 1. Voldaren Epicure, that's cool. We're going to have a slightly larger than usual Bloodtithe Harvester. It gets +1/+1 from Etching of Kumano. Or sorry, Kumano faces Kakkazan. It turns into Etching of Kumano. We also have a blood, and we drew a 3rd land. All coming together. Gleeful Demolition. They're destroying their own blood to make 3 goblins. I suppose if it works, right? I don't feel particularly pressured to do much of anything here. So I could go for Fable the Mirror Breaker, or I could use Ob Nixilis and make a copy and start ticking those up. I feel like that could be a really fun move, but I'm going to wait until I build up my deck a little bit more on this battlefield. I'm going to get the Fable out here, and I'm just going to block since they've got all these 1/1s. If I had the choice to give up blood and make 3 goblins, I'd probably make 3 goblins. I love goblins. Ooh, Naya. This could be a Naya Jetmir deck. Courier's Briefcase also making a token. I'm fully expecting to see a Jetmir Craterhoof Behemoth strike in this deck, which means I need to start taking out my opponent's creatures. I think we can start swinging in and hoping to keep things in line here. We have instant speed removal. That is enough to help stop a Jetmir. I'm going to take out Cut Down and Soul Transfer because those are very much single target. Oni-Cult Anvil helps me go wide, but what I didn't find here is land. I'm going to swing in with all of these. All these are 1/1s, so trades that they take will give me a lot of information. Okay, so that information is they're going for Jetmir. I'm going to throw down this Oni-Cult Anvil. I'm going to sacrifice the blood just so I have like one little guy here. I'll just hold up in this Go for the Throat. Jetmir is many things. A cat, a demon. But he is not an artifact. Dies to Doomblade. Dies to Doomblade. Jetmir, Nexus of Rebels. He hits the battlefield. And we want them to swing in. They commit to the swing. We kill the Jetmir. What Jetmir? There's never been a Jetmir. I've never seen a Jetmir. Certainly not. We're going to take 4 entire damage. Lands? Who needs them? We are going to continue swinging in. We can play Sheoldred. She's a decent blocker. Ob Nixilis would get me more little creatures. Fable the Mirror Breaker to try and keep filtering. I'm going to go for Sheoldred, and part of this is because it sacrifices the treasure, which gets me a little guy, a construct. They're down to 3 life. Citadel Stalwart. That is not another Jetmir. And a Gleeful Demolition on their bunny. They make more goblins, but unfortunately, goblins are not enough. Having the instant speed removal against Jetmir is what saved us that game. Did I have fun? Sure. We're playing against Peru. The entire country? I suppose so. I'll keep this. We have a little bit of removal. We've got a an excess of Epicures, but that means that we're going to have blood and blood aplenty. Dark Slick Shores. This is possibly Grixis, possibly Esper. Those are the 2 main decks here. It looks like it's going to be Esper. Esper Legends. Not playing anything on turn 2 is a little surprising. I will swing in here. Anything flashy? Got that cut down ready. All right, Bloodtithe Harvester. They could counter this. This is a fun card for me, not for them. It acts as removal. It's great for copying with Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And more blood. Blood. Blood both helps us find combo pieces and can be sacrificed. Oh, okay. They exiled it temporarily. Soul Partition is kind of like a bounce in white. It costs 2 more, and I can't play it right now. I'm going to drop this Voldaren Epicure. Try and find a land. That is not a land! We're going to do it again. I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. This time, I'm feeling just keep hitting this Epicure. Sulfurous Springs. And we swing in. Healing 1 entire damage. Faithful Mending. They're going to gain life and put cards into their graveyard. This possibly is a reanimation deck. Oh, Teresian Mindbreaker. Not what I expected. So this mills half the library at a time. They're unearthing it. This is going to put straight up half my deck into the trash. It also deals 6 damage, which is like not nothing. But there goes half of the potential to do the things we want to do with our deck. We don't have many things that play from the graveyard, but this makes me feel a lot better about holding this Soul Transfer. If they attack with another one next turn, that's going to be another half of my library. I I guess I'll leave this back since I do expect them to do that. And I'm just checking to see if my all will be ones are all in the graveyard. I have 3 of them in the deck, and 2 of them are currently in the graveyard. That's just like, do I need to go for the combo? Would it make sense for me to go for the combo? Frisian Mindbreaker coming in. I'm gonna block with the Epicure here. And I'm looking. Alright, so the all will be one is still in the deck somewhere. I am gonna play frisky and risky, and I think I'm going to just drop 1. Do I want to drop 2? I feel like the Soul Transfer has so much potential to bring things back. And I feel like the Sheoldred's a really strong backup plan, so I don't want to be dropping too many of my plans here. Let's go for the Sheoldred first. We know you like to draw cards, as many decks do. Could be a board wipe coming my way. Could also be some sort of a Wandering Emperor if I choose to swing in here. But I do want to swing in anyway, just because that is how we win this game. We deal some damage. We still have the potential, yep, there she is, some potential to get that combo running. Goodbye, Sheoldred. I have an enchantment, I have an artifact, so we can go for both modes on this Soul Transfer if we'd like. I'm going to play the land first. Soul Transfer, both modes. We're going to exile the Wandering Emperor, and we're going to bring back this other Sheoldred. We know they don't want to be playing against this Sheoldred, so we're going to keep up the Shelly strat. Let's go. Faithful Mending. They're drawing more cards, gaining some life, and discarding cards. I have 8 cards remaining in my deck. These also have flashbacks, so they can't cast them again. But they'll be losing more life than they gain, as long as I have Sheoldred out. Okay. I'm gonna go for copying this Goblini. First things first, we Goblin. And right now we're not dealing one at a time, so the Ob Nixilis does not need to come out pre-combat. You have another Wandering Emperor. Soul Partition. They are exiling the Sheoldred. And we... Goblini! The Shelly's out. Could be a counter spell. We can pay 2. Nope. Faithful Mending! They're drawing and they're discarding. Doing it while the Sheoldred is still on the stack before she comes into play. I'm gonna play out this other Bloodtithe Harvester too. I'm still fully expecting to see a board wipe. We've got many powerful board wipes, 2 of which are exiling, Sunfall and Farewell. You're down to 11. Faithful Mending. With the Sheoldred on the battlefield, they gain 2, draw 2, discard 2, and lose 4. That's going to put them at a lower life total than they were at before. They put Founding the Third Path and Rafine's Tower into the graveyard. And it looks like they're out of options. We're just getting the win, not comboing out, but playing Rakdos as Rakdos is played. Good game, Peru. We're up against Okarn, and we've got a really nice hand here, since we've got Oni-Cult Anvil on 2, and once we get our 3rd land, both removal, I'll say a good beater, and these Fable the Mirror Breakers, which kind of do it all. This comes in tapped, and it looks like we're up against a mono red, which is rather aggressive. A swamp. How nice. This cut down, sadly, not able to kill this Flame Breather, but I think better than getting out this Oni-Cult Anvil is actually holding up my removal here. Flame Breather is going to be dealing damage to me when they cast non-creature spells. But I think I'm going to be destroying Etching of Kumano, or maybe another creature that they throw down. Ooh, Invasion of Azgol. That's going to deal 4 damage to my face. And I think they're going to probably swing at it to try to flip it, or just keep going for my face. By the way, 3 mana for 4 damage to face is such a good rate. It's so good. Took that out. And Graveyard Trespasser. Currently nothing to exile, but pretty good at blocking here. Since this Keswick Flame Breather only has 2 power. I'll still take the Kumano Faces Kakkazan out of their graveyard. May as well. No reason to keep it there. There's a second Flame Breather. And since they're using Lightning Strike, they'll have to pay my ward cost, which requires a discard. Speaking of ward, if you are playing a red deck and you're trying to build a sideboard, I will heavily recommend Lithomantic Barrage. It's no good against black, but against white and blue creatures and planeswalkers, it causes uncounterable damage, which is pretty sweet. I'm gonna play Fable the Mirror Breaker. Look at that. My little goblin. He makes treasures. He's a good boy. He's a good goblin. They have 1 card in hand, 2 creatures, and a 3rd potential creature off of Mishra's Foundry. They're swinging in. I am blocking. If they have another Invasion of Azgol, they could follow up and kill this Goblin Shaman with the 1 damage off of it. Or it's just nighttime. They didn't cast anything. I am going to discard and draw here. I think the Oni-Cult Anvil and the Soul Transfer are a little too slow for this matchup. Got another Oni-Cult. That is fine. And here comes Sheoldred. Stoke the Flames. That's 4 damage to my face, plus 2 more off the Flame Breather. We're dead. This seems like a nice hand. We've got a 1, 2, a 3. And I can't read my opponent's name, but I like their avatar. Feeling rather Elspeth today. We've got a mountain. An Epicure. 1 damage to your face, a blood, and a 1/1. Really doing it all here. And a Xander's Lounge. That doesn't tell me that much about what our opponent is playing, other than it has Grixis in it. Now, could that just be a Grixis deck? Sure, it's probably just a Grixis deck. But is it Grixis, Hidetsugu, and Kairi combo? I'm going to think yes, it is. Another Xander's Lounge. Things are coming into play tapped. And I'm coming into play with slaps. We're going to go ahead and get the Fable and the Mirror Breaker out here. I'm going to recycle my Construct to deal maximum damage. And pass back. Xander's Lounge into Blackcleave Cliffs. Do you have a Fable the Mirror Breaker of your own to play? Maybe 3 damage to all my creatures, or destroying all the little artifacts. It was 3 damage to all creatures and planeswalkers. Brotherhood's End. I'm going to drop the Cut Down and this... Deciding on this Epicure here. I think yes. I've got other ways to trigger the 1 damage. We ended up just drawing more removal here. That's fine. I don't have a way to get this Oni-Cult Anvil going this turn, but that's alright. We'll get there next turn. Sheoldred the Apocalypse! I can kill her in upkeep. And I do, because I want to attack with my Goblin. We draw. It's a Voldaren Epicure. This flips. We're going to be discarding, I think, both of these. Like, the Epicure is good for this, but I'll also have a treasure from this Goblin. And I will use it. I don't feel like I need all this mana here. Bing bong! Get it done. Reflection of Kiki-Jiki is able to clone my non-legendary creatures next turn. We'll see if they have another board wipe. If they do, they might wait another turn for this to flip. Alright, Corpse Appraiser. They exile a creature from my graveyard, which gives them 3 cards. 1 in the hand, 2 in the graveyard. See what they end up putting in the trash. It was a land and a counter spell. Bloodtithe Harvester, Grixis Vampires. Now I do have artifacts and enchantments here, which means that we can use the Soul Harvester for both modes. All I can bring back is the Epicure, but that's kind of fine with me. I am going to exile the Corpse Appraiser and bring back the Epicure. Play the Epicure. Clone this Goblin. Swing in with my army of Goblinis. Use the blood. Discard this land. I'm trying to find something a little stronger. Takenuma? That's fine. I'll just hold this in hand. This will also bring back a creature. If they have another board wipe, another Brotherhood's End, I can sacrifice one of my constructs, deal 1 damage to their face. Looks like they're taking out the reflections of Kiki-Jiki. We could have gone for, like, the end step, making some clones, but I didn't have a ton of mana for that turn. So I think we did the right thing here. Bloodtithe Harvester doing Bloodtithe Harvester things. Fable of the Mirror Breaker making a 2/2. They're mostly tapping out here, which I'm actually going to sacrifice this treasure to get them down to 5. Now we have a lethal turn. It doesn't really matter what we do other than copy attackers, attack with things, and sacrifice stuff to deal the final damage. That's going to be a good game against Grixis. I like my opponent's combination of name, Biceps Boy, with a Gideon avatar. It feels very, knows what they're doing. Step 1, we play Kumano faces Kakkazan. Ding! It's Soldiers, a Yoshin Frontliner. All right, I've seen a couple of those before. I'm going to go for an XXL Bloodtithe Harvester. A 4/3 instead of a 3/2 makes it a much more effective blocker, especially in this matchup, where there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be starting out at 2 power. Now, Red Yoshin Frontliner can make something stronger, but not forever. There we go. We've got ourselves a nice little 2/2. And I'm actually going to offer them a trade. The Bloodtithe Harvester swinging in here. Would you care to double block? Because if you do, this will be exiled and I don't have to worry about it coming back from the graveyard. Okay, cool. Bloodtithe Harvester and Voldaren Epicure. I will be paying 1 life for this. Oof. A fine ping. I like that I feel like an aggro deck. I feel like I'm playing the most aggressive version here. Soldier and a Siege Veteran who's getting that delicious +1/+1 counter. It's you, Denik. I feel like I could trade these two for yous. Since you would be exiled and I'm not actually, like, using these creatures for anything. They do not get a token. Feels good enough for me. And here comes Ob Nixilis. I don't have any way to deal 1 damage, but I do have a way to attack their face. So I'm going to swing in for 6. Would you like the block? No. Great! Ob Nixilis is sitting. He's chilling, and he's waiting for me to have a way to deal 1 damage. Hey, do you have any pain lands in that deck? Would you mind dealing 1 damage to yourself? I'm asking for a friend. No? Okay, that's fine. Ob Nixilis currently just chilling out here, being a big liar. Mural is going to disable my ability to cast spells and activate most abilities on their turn. And here's an Oni-Cult Anvil! Perfect! Alright, we're going to sacrifice a blood. I know I could have used the blood, killing Mural. I don't care. That thing's cool, but you know what's more cool? Doing this. At least I think so. I'm actually considering killing the Siege Veteran over Mural. But right now, I just feel like we're swinging in. We're killing. In the air. Let's go. Damage. Also, now I have a little guy. And also lethal in the air next turn. But a little guy! And lethal in the air next turn. And a little guy. You love little guys. His name is Con the Construct. Now, in another format, such as Pioneer or Explorer, maybe a Cat Oven could be joined with this Ob Nixilis, and a Mayhem Devil, too. There's so many cards that work so well with Ob Nixilis. Oh, look! They got a flying blocker, the Sky Strike Officer! Ob Nixilis does have trample. But Skystrike Officer's got 3 toughness, maybe 4. Let's see if the Siege Veteran decides to make this a little bit bigger. Yep, that's a chunky Skystrike Officer. They can draw lots of cards here. Do I feel like double blocking? Sure, again, I'm not really using these guys for anything. Oh, trade these 2. Oh, this would have only killed 1. Yeah, this is fine. Hey, do you want to draw some cards? I like keeping this exile alive as long as they have the Siege Veteran out. We use Harvester to kill the flyer. Yes, but I want to use my Ob Nixilis to do Ob Nixilis things. Such as get bigger. And deal more damage. Ooh, a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. You don't deal 1. I'm gonna drop the spare Ob Nixilis I have. Failed to chain together 1 more damage. Now all I have are goblinis. Pathetic little goblinis. Not lethal this turn. Does force the block. They can draw a whole bunch of cards in response, though. They draw. I'm looking forward to building Ob Nixilis as a commander, by the way. As you can tell, I'm just like, ooh, ready to play some Brawl. Could they have a bit of removal? An Alpha Strike? A Wanderer? A Destroy Evil? Maybe Harbin for some big Garbins? Waiting to see what they end up doing here. Biceps Boy, flexin'. Valiant Veteran gives them a buff, +1/+1 across all their creatures. A Harbin would be another +1/+1 and flying if they swing in. If they have it, that would be lethal. I want to see it. No, it's just another Valiant Veteran. I can block those. That's boring. It's still like 15+ damage coming in. I guess I will do some blocking. Sure. Great. Looking fine. We live! Or say nice. I got 1 blue. An unsummon, maybe? I just really want to do the combo, too. Yoshin Frontliner. And a Concession. Alright, it looks like Ob was gonna swing in for lethal. No matter what happened. Good game. So I'm going into this game with a little bit of advanced knowledge. I played against Neptune earlier, and they were playing a lot of counter spells. I'm gonna keep this hand. We have things that we can play out early, and I'm gonna hope that they can't just counter all my stuff again. We have a land that comes in tap, so we're gonna be playing the Party of 1/1s. And 1 drops. Kumano faces Kakkazan, 1 to the face. We've got our Voldaren Epicure for the next turn. It'll become a 2/2. Ooh, destroying my evil enchantment. That's fine. I'll play out Voldaren Epicure. Now that Destroy Evil is 1 Destroy Evil that's not going to be destroying the evil that is Sheoldred or the evil that is Obi-Wan. Dennick. Ooh, the menace. Oh, that Dennick. All my homies hate Dennick. Gonna play Voldaren Epicure and Oni-Cult Anvil. Sacrifice one of these blood to get a little guy, a friendly little 1/1. No attacks. We got 3 1/1s. And you know what they want to do? Maybe triple block Dennick, I don't know. Invasion of Segovia. They're gonna get 2 1/1 Triple and Krakens. I got a triple block Dennick. They could have an unsummon here. A Fading Hope. They do not. So we are not blown out by that battle. And since they only have 1 mana up, I feel very happy to throw a Sheoldred onto the field. I'll use this blood for the blood god, and make a little guy. And we'll just chill here. Nice old man you've got there. If they sacrifice him and pay a blue, I'd have to pay 3 additional mana to get my spells to resolve, which I don't want. They made sure they kept up a blue. We just have our spare Shelly here. I think we're just gonna chill. I can go for the 1 additional point of damage, so I think I will. They could also play the 2nd Dennick, Pious Apparition here. This will investigate when these creatures die. Or I think it's only... Is it only creature cards? Yes, it's creature cards. Bloodtithe Harvester come into play. I'm going to sacrifice the blood, put one of these all-will-be-ones into my graveyard. That gets me another little guy here. And we have a cut down, which we can... throw on whatever we need. They're able to counter it with the Malevolent Hermit. But that is an all-will-be-one that wouldn't be countered if that manages to resolve. So let's see if Dennick swings at the Invasion of Segovia. I'm gonna use Cut Down here. Let's see, Mr. Hermit, would you like to counter this? I'm otherwise tapped out. They say yes, protecting the Dennick. This can come back as a flyer. A creature entered the graveyard. They get a clue. This is not yet flipped, but it's very strong when it does flip. Get this all-will-be-one out. Now, do I have anything that's getting counters right now? No. But soon, maybe. Soon. I feel like we could swing in with the Bloodtithe Harvester. We've got enough blockers on the ground right now, and it's not really doing anything for me. I want them to have fewer creatures, so that's fewer things to untap when the Invasion of Segovia flips over. You drew a card. You lose the life. Would you like to sacrifice some clues and draw more cards? Asking for a friend. The friend is me. Alright, looks like they're going in with a double Dennick. I am not risking my Sheoldred. So again, triple block. I think they have an Iganjo, by the way. So if they Iganjo one of these, that's fine. It happens. This flips. And they get Caritas, Sea Tyrant of Segovia, Dennick again. Damn, you're just chock full of Dennicks, huh? Damn, bro, it's Dennick time. So now their non-creature spells have Convoke, which means they can tap their creatures to cast them. And they're going to be untapping their creatures. Chaining the Segovias together is very strong. This is legendary, so you can't have them doubly flipped. But it is like a, hey, you remove this, I'm going to give you more. They drew a card. They lose the life. Takenuma is not targeting, so it should still work through Dennick. But it's not great for me. I feel like we can just sit here and chill, since the things I would want to be playing on this turn wouldn't be coming into play this turn anyway. What we want is we want the all-will-be-one to commence! Oh, they're throwing Sheoldred into my hand. Alright. I still have enough mana for this. It costs 4 now to channel instead of 3. Oh, my little Epicure is just like, hello? I'm going to take this damage. Now, if I remember right, they have some Convoke counterspells in their deck. Can't counter this, though, since it is a channel. I grab Ob Nixilis. We have the combo ready to go for next turn, but they're still very much able to counter the Ob Nixilis. If you're wondering how do you kick it off, well, we've got this going on. Nice! 6 2/2s, and they still get to untap 4 creatures here. These are all going to become 3/3s, because Wedding Announcement does Wedding Announcement things. So if they have the Convoke counterspell, and I'm fairly sure they do, what do? Well, we die next turn. Let's see it! Tap those creatures! And make it disappear. Well, there you go! I can only pay 2. I cannot pay 4. Decline. Boo hoo hoo. Let's see if they just go flip this over, hit my face. I feel like it matters very little. Death becomes us. Hit me, baby. One more time. I think what they're going to do is they're going to try and flip this over so they get the Teferi Akosa of Zhalfir. Teferi is able to make the knights even stronger. I'm just going to take this hit. It's cool that it's working. Yeah, this is kind of like a blue-white tempo-y deck. This flippers. Hi, Teferi. You tapping things. No! My all will be one! My potential to combo! That's okay. They convoke out a Wedding Announcement. They're drawing cards. Sheoldred is like in my hand like, I wish I were out there watching them draw cards. I know you do, sweetie. I know you do. They untappy, so they can protect and attack. And I don't have any board wipes in my deck. I managed to draw all will be one. That may have even been the same exact copy they shuffled back in. We're gonna say, good game, and we're going to concede. Yeah, you can make me counter it, but I can leave. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, if you'd like to watch me record my standard jank live, you should come over to twitch.tv/Amazonian, where I stream Magic pretty much every single day. In fact, this week I even streamed on my day off because those wild, wacky people over at Wizards of the Coast decided to launch the set early. I'm pretty sure that Aftermath released 2 days early because it was able to fix an issue. So Android was apparently not able to work, like Arena on Android was not working. And it works with this fix. So I guess if the set's ready and it has the patch that fixes the problem, you push it live because why not? It worked. So this deck, I like the way it performed. It's definitely got room for improvement, streamlining, and everything else. And who knows, maybe you don't run Oni-Cult Anvil at all and you have a completely different build. I also want to say shout out to this Neopets slap bracelet, which I was wearing during this video. I won almost every single game where I had it on. I actually got this slap bracelet while I was in Boston with Voxy. We have matching snap bracelets. Hers is rainbow and mine is green, so it would show up on my blue screen. And, you know, that's just gal power right there. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this Rakdos.